Ilona Barnhart here. Welcome to the Red and Blissful Show. Wellness life hacks for an extraordinary life. This lunar eclipse is propelling me to a major reset in my life on so many different levels. One is very literal. We're literally moving across the train tracks. I'll be waking up to a whole new space. The furniture, everything will be totally rearranged like never before, which I'm excited about, but it's definitely something different. So that's a very literal way that this lunar eclipse energy is showing up in my life, but it's also very internal too. There have been things that are brewing and I'm just excited to actually put them into place. The more that I learn about human design and the roadmap that it shows for me to connect with my authenticity, I'm really eager to give this experiment a try. And I would love for you to follow along so that you could literally see my life transform before your very own eyes. So come along as I dive a little bit deeper into what this current lunar eclipse is shifting and how practically I will be putting into practice or this experiment that I'll be leading with human design. Alright, so the major difference now is going to be the transition from this place to our new place. The major differences between this place and our new place is that this place was our first place in California, so it will always hold a very dear and special place in my heart. If these walls could talk, they will say all sorts of different stories from all the people that have come and visited us, the people that we've been able to love upon and share experiences with, and then also about the transformation that has happened on me and my husband's individual journey and us together. It's just poof. And we wouldn't be leaving, but we are kind of not forced to, but a little bit. The space will change a lot. So we have a lot of ocean breeze coming through, a lot of light, and a lot of that's going to change once we have a really big building that's building right next door to us. And I also work remotely, so that's going to cause a lot of noise and dust, so we would have to close that up. So the whole energy of the space is changing. So we're looking into moving anyway. Then our friend told us about an opportunity as they're in the process of moving and transitioning too, so moving across the train tracks, that much closer to the beach. The difference with that space is that it feels more like a cave. So this was more open and light and fresh, flowy air. That's more like a cave, which I actually really love the imagery of that because I picture myself as a bear going into hibernation mode. I know. So for an MG, a manifesting generator, that's kind of like a very unknown territory because I'm very much here to achieve many great things, and I oftentimes initiate, which I've learned that could be something that I'm just keeping myself busy versus actually really utilizing the life force within me for specific things that could really uplift the whole collective. Alright, I'm going to get into that a lot more and share more about human design as I learn about it as well. But I love the imagery, like I was saying, about this cave because I really feel this time of inner growth and study coming about. And I also think that it will encourage me to walk barefooted to the beach because I'll be able to. I'm that close to the ocean right now. So many different cool changes happening. But the major thing with human design that I'm learning about myself, which I believe, the way that I see human design, which I will explain more in a different video, is that it's a roadmap to my authentic self. And I'm eager to experiment with the tools that they provide for you to find your innermost voice. One of those things is to actually really create space. The reason why I'm creating space is that Jenna Zoe, who is a human design analyst who analyzes charts for people, she talks about the generator aura, which I'm a generator, manifesting generator, but I'm ultimately a generator, is that the universe basically acts like my personal shopper. I know, right? When I heard that, I was like, fuck yeah, that's so cool. So basically what that means is that the universe will constantly bring things to me, and as long as I respond with my sacral, my gut, and if it's a no, I'll say no to it and trust that something better will come. But if I respond with a yes, then all of this momentum that I have, that I give any project that lights me up, it will just propel me into something completely different. And to really trust the intelligence of my innermost being and my body to know what's best for me day to day, moment to moment. So the way that looks for me in order for the universe to send things my way, to be like, hey, do you like this? Or do you like this? And yada, 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 is that I need space for it to actually bring those things in, for me to have that space to be like, okay, cool, like what are my options? Instead of keeping myself so busy that I don't see options when they come, or there's just nothing, there's no space for things to come. Practically, the way that this is going to look is that Yoga with Ilona videos that I posted regularly starting August 1st or 3rd of last year. So it's been a whole year of me posting regular videos every week. I mean, I'm a MG, manifesting generator. I'm here to achieve great things, right? So I've been achieving all my life, but the purpose of me is not to necessarily achieve what my mind thinks, but to really connect with my innermost being. And the way to do that is to let go, see what life brings me, and respond yes or no to, and really own that sacral response. So that is a huge, big experiment that I will literally be sharing with you to even see if there's any validity to this human design stuff, but I just personally can't get just enough of. So that's one way. So Yoga with Ilona videos are going to take a break. Maybe, I don't know when I'll come back to it, and that's totally okay. It was a project that really was awesome, and I feel like it's a good time to end it. I have 2 more videos that I will share with you, and after that, I will only share videos as clients ask me for something particular. I have one client that asked me about lower back stuff, so I will definitely do a video for them and also post that on social media and on YouTube. So unless I'm actually getting a response or a request from a specific client or a friend or anybody to do specific videos for, I will be no longer doing regular videos. That's one big change. I have a list here. Let's see. The other thing is to pause and create more space. Another way of doing that is to minimize my time on the phone. I realize that a big chunk of my time goes to phone calls, which are very enlivening and enriching, but they're definitely not creating space for the universe to speak. So unless it's a client, I will no longer be spending as much time. I'll be minimizing regularly the time that I'm spending on my phone. Also, a fun way that I'm going to do this too is just noticing when my mind is starting to think, because I'm full of ideas, and I'm sure as many of you are, because we're creative beings living this human experience. There's always ways that we want to improve our own lives and other people's lives. There's all these millions of ideas, and they're coming from here, which the mind is incredible at doing stuff, right? And communicating with people and visualizing things, just beautiful tool. But it also doesn't necessarily know that much, and I'll get into why in human designed videos in the future. But I really, because I'm an MG and I want to live in this human design experiment, I will want to notice when my mind is coming up with activities for me to do, and trust that as good as they are, I might write them down, but I'm going to wait for life to present itself. So maybe the idea that I'm thinking that I want to do, somebody else will ask me, and then I'll get a hell yes, or maybe I'll get a no for whatever reason, or maybe I'll get not sure just yet, right? So it's a very visceral, physical response for the generator. And then I will also just begin to ask my body. This might sound a little woo-woo out there, but I've actually started to do this, but I'm being more confident in it now. So as I'm shopping, I'll be like, oh, do I want this mango? Yes or no. So for manifesting generators or generals in general, it's very important to ask yes or no questions, because the ambivalent, the open-ended questions are a little too much. We don't know how, the sacred doesn't know how to answer that, but it does know how to answer yes or no questions. So literally asking myself anything from, do I want this tea, or do I want tea? Yes or no. Do I want toast? Yes or no. Do I want salmon? Yes or no. So just literally just asking myself, do I want to wear this? Yes or no. And really stepping into my authentic voice by tapping into that gut response. Finally, but not at all least, my favorite thus far, I'm looking forward to this so much, is unscheduling one day in the week. Maybe 2, but unscheduling one day in the week that literally maybe there's something that I plan to do, but more importantly than that is just to leave it completely open-ended, no schedule, nowhere to be, nothing to do, and staying home until I have want or something to go outside, or do I want to, or asking myself like, do you want to go outside? Like, but waking up without no agenda and literally tapping into what my soul wants and doing and following through and seeing how that goes. I've done a little snippet of this experiment a couple weeks ago on a weekend, and I responded yes and no, and I honored whatever was showing up. And the synchronicities that weekend, the things that I learned, the things that I was able to get into, the conversations I was able to have with people were totally mind-blowing. It's like entering a whole nother level of being and really accepting myself for who I am, honoring my yeses and nos, and resting and surrendering into the life. There's this conditioning of thinking that we have to do and prove, which I did for so long. So I'm super eager to try something different, and let's see how that pans out. Because literally, Yoga with Ilona was born with the idea of sharing yoga with people, because I love sharing. I believe that yoga should be accessible to anybody, anytime, anywhere. That was one reason behind Yoga with Ilona. But the other thing was for more practice for me of teaching, and then also to establish myself as somebody that is an expert in the field. But I really don't have anything to prove. I do believe that it helped me become the teacher that I am today, which is I've been teaching for 2 years. I've been doing yoga videos for a year. So there was a lot of added extra hours of teaching that I wouldn't have had before, and the instant feedback of watching the videos and then like cringing. So a lot of growth happened through Yoga with Ilona, but literally one of the reasons why I did it was to establish myself and just realizing to allow life to happen. I am a generator. I mean, my first yoga gig, which I could get into a different time as well, was just a phone call. Like, hey, do you want to pick up this class, this corporate class? And I was like, yes. And I did. And it was right after my remote gig crumbled. About 2 weeks later, I was working for somebody remotely. That whole company just poof, vanished, gone. And I was like, what? Couple of months, it was like 2 or 3 months after my teacher training, I had the certificate and things like that, and I was like, well, what next? And I just settled into the unknown. I had a friend in town, which was a nice distraction, and I got that call. And there have been some eerie things like that have happened throughout my life, so I really resonate with being an MG on so many different levels. All right, but so those are the ways that life is happening for me right now. Huge, major resets, literally moving into a new place and literally committing to doing things differently than I have ever done before in my life. Very much an initiator, very much a person that just always does, always shows up, uses my energy, and it's going to be very different. So I'm not going to just like throw my feet up and Netflix and chill the whole time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There might be times I'll unwind that way, but I will be using my time in my proverbial cave to indulge whatever it is that my soul desires, which right now is human design. And I'm also diving right back into the chakras as well. That's something that popped up, and I want to understand it on a deeper level. It'll be my 3rd time rereading Eastern Body, Western Mind, really taking my time with it. So really just going into the basics, really learning all of that and exploring human design. So follow along. There's a little note that I wrote here. It says, I feel strangely good about this. I think it will lead to some incredible things in my life. Now to actually live it out. Enjoy my journey. Join my journey. Ciao, guys.